Okay, friends, we are back in the office because, y'all, we got some work to do. And I'm very serious. Why? Because I keep walking into my closet and being completely uninspired by my clothing in there. And then I keep just pinning things on Pinterest and looking at myself like I am out of this world because why haven't we made anything yet? We don't know, which is the reason why it's time to just go ahead and drop the information for what I'm challenging myself to do and also inviting you to join me with, and that is this here little challenge. Okay, so if you watch my vloggy vlogs, which BT dubs you should be watching, then you already know what I'm about to start talking about. And that, of course, is the Pinterest inspiration to wardrobe manifestation, where I'm taking the things that I'm finding on Pinterest and really working them in with my own style twist, as well as, of course, using it for inspiration for even further patterns, right? So the thing about this is, one, I have been a really long time Pinterest user. I was an early adopter to Pinterest. I have always loved Pinterest. It has been such a source of inspiration for so many things in my life. In fact, when I was pregnant with my middle child, she was like sitting, her shoulder was stuck on my hip bone. And do you know how I got her off of my hip bone so that I could deliver her successfully and easily without tears or any kind of traumas? Pinterest. Yes. I looked up on Pinterest how to adjust baby. I got my big belly in that pike position. My husband adjusted her and we took it to that delivery room nice and easily and that baby came right on out. So as far as I'm concerned, Pinterest is definitely a source of valid information, especially as it comes to style, fashion, etc. Now, I've got 1,000,001 Pinterest boards. Listen, don't come for me. I left corporate America almost 10 years ago to become a full-time blogger, which is what we called influencers back in the day. And Pinterest is such a huge source of traffic for many of us, including my sites still today. In fact, my number one driver of traffic to all of my websites is Pinterest. Which is why when I was like, you know what, I really do need to have some inspiration for my closet and for my wardrobe, I went to none other than Bay, aka Pinterest. Now, one of the other great things about Pinterest is that you can also pin there from places like YouTube. Go ahead and pin this, okay? Go ahead, pause right now, pin this to Pinterest, send your girl some traffic. I'm on my road to hitting 10K subscribers, and anything that you guys can do to help me, I really appreciate. I digress though. But you can go on Instagram, find your Instagram style inspirations and pin them and save them for later. I love the versatility, of course, of using Pinterest because, yes, you can take it from other social media platforms. You can also take it from, of course, shops, stores, etc. So I love that Pinterest makes it so easy for us to find our inspiration for the things that we want to do. However, I always feel like there's a disconnect when it comes time for that Pinterest look and then we're looking around like, okay, I'm not seeing it anyplace else. Like, what do we do with it outside of pinning it to a board? And I'm tired of it. I had to look at myself in the face and say, self, cut it out. Stop just pinning things and saying you're going to make it and then you just don't. Especially because my entire closet upstairs has been waiting for these things. Now, I am down just about 45 pounds weight loss now, and a lot of my clothes don't fit. Some of them do. And some things I have gone thrifting because I had the intentions of upcycling them to be Pinterest inspirations. And my closet right now is just not giving me what I need it to give in order for me to continue to get dressed every day. And I'm a chronic outfit repeater, so it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't rewear. No, I rewear. Like right now I'm in my pencil, like my midi pencil skirt era. And best believe I've been rewearing two main ones because they're black and white. And yeah, I've been rewearing those babies like crazy. So rewearing things is not an issue. That is a non-issue. I am not so like, ugh, I could never, to rewear. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that now that I feel like I have more of a solid style, and when I've gone fabric shopping, I have planned out these things in my head anyway, that I could see being made. And I've got really great cohesive fabrics and things like that. Now it's time to make something happen with them. And if you're like, okay, girl, well, like, what are you talking about cohesive fabrics and things like that? I do actually teach a class that talks about creating a cohesive wardrobe, things like that. And here's the thing, I'm about to start offering it as a virtual class as opposed to an only in person class. So stay tuned for more information about that. But I'm like, I've gone fabric shopping, I've done the work, I've done the behind the scenes work, but I have not done the front of the scenes work. And I don't know if that's a thing, but it just seems to make sense right here, right? Ultimately, I haven't made a damn thing. Okay. So let's jump into what Pinterest inspiration to closet manifestation looks like so that we don't get overwhelmed, especially if you're like, girl, sign me up. I want to do this along with you because I'm going to take you on the journey. Y'all already know that I am not a gatekeeper of information unless I've already previously charged for it because I do want to make sure that I honor those who have paid me for that information. But let's go ahead and really get into the nitty gritty about what Pinterest inspiration to closet manifestation is going to look like for moi. Now, a lot of times when we are looking to replan or restructure or redo anything that has to do with our clothes, yeah, it can be really overwhelming. It can be a thing of like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to finish this because there's just so many things that need to get done. And that is honestly not how I want to feel. Like, I want to set myself up for success. And so, in doing that, I have been really intentional about a couple of different things. The first thing being, one, created a special board. It's called Pinterest Inspiration to Closet Manifestation because I love clarity, right? And I have that on my Pinterest board as a Pinterest board. And so as I've been browsing and seeing things that I legit want to recreate, I have pinned it to that board. And I've gone back through some of my previous pins and gone ahead and moved those pins to the board as well if it's something that I actually plan to recreate. Then the other thing that I have done is I have kind of split them in my head anyway. I'm going to organize the Pinterest board to be this way as well, for it to be things that are upcycles versus things that are new makes, right? Because I do feel like I have things that are on my Pinterest boards that are simple upcycles. I don't have to create it from scratch, but it's still something that I really want in my wardrobe. Just like I have completely new looks that are definitely like calling to be made from scratch. And I'm like, babe, let's make it. And then there's some that are like the combination of the both. So for me, in order to not get like overwhelmed, I'm committing to making 1 to 2 pieces from my Pinterest inspiration board per week. Now, again, that is the goal. Now, if I so happen to have more time or more availability and make more, then that is what I'm going to do. But also, if your girl is like, I just can't make fetch happen, we're going to leave a little bit of grace for that as well. But the reason why I'm wanting to document this is because, one, accountability purposes, because here's one thing that I know about my YouTube family is that y'all will be like, do you remember when you had like started this thing and then you just never updated us about it? Like, what's going on with that? And listen, I love accountability, so I love when y'all do that, okay? Um, and then of course there's some other challenges that I do have going on towards the end of the year that this will like work with. So of course we know that National Sewing Month is September. Get ready. It's in less than 2 weeks, right? So we've got that happening, which means that all of my content will be falling in line with National Sewing Month, which is perfect. Then also, I'm doing a challenge with some of my vintage besties, and we're doing a shirt-waisted September, meaning that we're creating these like shirt-waist dresses, aka like a button-up dress. Okay, because if you're like me and you were like, "What is that?" and you had to Google it, that's what it is. Okay, and we're choosing like a pattern or a style from a certain era. I don't even know what era mine is going to be from. Mine will likely be from this era, to be completely honest. And then we're going to make them and share progress and stuff like that. So, of course, that will be included in this Pinterest inspiration to closet manifestation. And then, of course, you guys know every November I do New Pattern November, where we focus on sewing all of the new patterns that we have bought and never touched. So, this will fall into that. So, what I'm saying is that even though there are other challenges that come up that I love to participate in or conduct, this will still be something that we can make fetch happen with. Why? Because I think that when we look at Pinterest, it's a lot easier to create wardrobe of our dreams. Why? Because it's not like we're having to shop for fabric in the moment. We're not having to shop for patterns. We're simply shopping for style. We're simply shopping for aesthetic, right? And so that is half the battle. Now, the other half the battle for someone like me is in fabric choice, which is why today I'm actually going to begin to plan out some of my fabrics by going through my huge bucket of fabric right there. So, we're going to come back, and by come back, I don't know why I said come back. We're going to sit on the floor. We're going to go through some of those fabrics, and I'm going to plan out 10 makes. I'm not going to go plan out everything that's inside of there because, again, overwhelm is a thing, and I don't feel like it because if I get too overwhelmed, I'm just going to be like, F it. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. So we're going to do that. Take a look at that and begin to plan out some of our Pinterest makes. So that way, when it's time for us to get started next week, we already have some things lined up. So before we go ahead and actually take a look at the different items that we're going to make, what I wanted to do is kind of take you through just what it actually looks like for me to be going through my Pinterest boards. Like I said, your girl has a lot of Pinterest boards. So the first thing that I did was I did make my board, and I did, like I said, title it Pinterest Inspiration to Closet Manifestation. And then I started out by going through all of my existing fashion or sewing boards so that if there were specific things that came out to me that I actually legit wanted to make, then I could just go ahead and move those pins over to the board where I was going to be functioning off of. Now, if you're someone who doesn't necessarily need to set up a specific board, then don't. By all means, do not do any extra steps because, again, simplicity is the key to making this really, really easy so that it's easier to follow through. I have a lot of pins where I've pinned my own creations for my own website and stuff like that. Not that I don't want to recreate those, but y'all, that's not what I'm paying attention to as I go through these. So what I did was I went through and I got some pins that I thought that would be a really good start for me. Now, I did begin to do some really specific searches on Pinterest for some things that I know that I'm looking for. So, for example, like fall is coming up, and I know that I want to take a look at some of my fall makes because literally all I have in my closet right now are hoodies. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but your girl is trying to get out of my hoodie season or only wearing hoodies for fall 2024. So I did just go ahead and do a search to see what came up as far as different styles. And then I began to pin those to my board that I wanted to pull from. So now I'm going to show you all kind of what I do after I've gotten my ideas together for these here pins. So once I've gotten my Pinterest inspiration together, then what I like to do is I like to begin the search for patterns that I plan to use. So for example, like I do plan on remaking my very own pattern. Um, and so what I did was I just went ahead and I downloaded these line drawings so that I could keep track of them. And this is helpful when planning out your wardrobe because if I want to use my line drawings to help me draw out or do some sketching and that sort of thing, then this is really a helpful tool to have. Also, it helps me to really streamline my production process when it comes time to actually making these garments. Also, it helps me to keep track of the patterns that I actually legit plan on using. So this is a helpful step to go ahead and really streamline your process. So once you've gone ahead and decided what you want to make and been inspired from Pinterest, then you find the patterns that you plan on using unless you plan on drafting these yourselves. Store them in a simple folder so that way it's that much easier for you to pull from when you're doing the next step, which is planning out your fabrics. So with that, let's go ahead and sit on the floor and take a look at some of those fabrics and plan out. Now, if you were like, hey girl, I want to do this along with you, definitely make sure that you are either grabbing post-it notes, because post-it notes, of course, have a sticky back, a pen, pencil, whichever you feel like writing with. And then I do highly actually recommend using some straight pins because I'm going to go ahead and actually pin the things that I plan to make with these garments on the actual fabric so that when I'm like going through fabrics, I already have the plan. The work has been done. And then one of the other things that you might consider doing is going ahead and actually planning out exactly like how many yards are there, because sometimes we have these stashes and we're just like, oh, how many yards are there? Or, oh, I thought that I had X amount of yards, but I forgot that I actually made something with it. You don't want that to happen if you've got it in your mind that you want to make something. So factor that in as well. The way that I do a quick yard measurement is I do my forearm, because that's about 12 inches to here and across here. And that's generally about a yard, give or take like an inch or two. So that is something that is easy for me. Now, if you have like longer limbs, that might not work for you. Or if you have shorter limbs, that might not work for you. But like your girl is average Amanda. No shade to Amanda. Average Aaronica. We'll just throw my name in there. So it works for me just fine. So with that, let's go ahead and plan out some makes already. And then next week, we'll be getting into some of those actual things. All right, besties. So here we are on the ground. My cat is currently looking at me like, girl, why are you in my territory? But out in the house. So it's you in my territory. JK, JK, JK. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. Oh, you don't have to leave, milkshake. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put in your face like that. So we're not going to pull it over because it's going to topple. Okay, let me make some adjustments. Yeah, the whole damn thing fell. So, fabric. Now, there are some things that I already have planned out for some things. Like this. Look at this fabric. It's like a little peekaboo gingham situation. I got this fabric from Boho Fabrics. I just love it so much. I already know what I plan on making with this. I've got 3 yards of it, which does give me a lot of versatility. Sorry, let me adjust that so I'm not out here giving like a OnlyFans show. If you guys would pay for that, let me know. JK, 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 don't let me know, okay? Don't make it weird in here for us, guys. So I'm going to just refold this because, of course, as it fell out the bag, we got to refold it. So what do I plan on making with this? I bought this because I thought it would make a really cool button down. And I just finished doing the pattern test for the double ugly cherry top. And while I don't have a Pinterest inspiration for this, again, I already knew what I wanted to make. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Y'all, somebody has a Post-it note problem. So we're going to just write it down. Double ugly sour cherry top. Boom. 1 down, 9 to go. But we are not feeling overwhelmed. Now, let me actually whip out my phone. Take a look at what's actually on my Pinterest board, because I do highly suggest that this is what you kind of do as you're going through it. So this is like my profile on Pinterest. And so I'm just going to go underneath my saved, and I'm going to go underneath my Pinterest inspiration boards. Now, there is an upcycle that I specifically want to do. There's actually 2 of them that I'm looking to kind of do over the next 2 weeks. They involve denim. The first one is that. And so if you're like, girl, how do you plan on doing that? I'm so happy you asked. So I have this here fabric that I feel like is perfect. I did get this from, oh my God, it just left my head. From Second Stitch, which of course is housed in in Top Stitch Atlanta. And so I feel like this will be enough because I'm only going to be covering the, doing like essentially two like thigh panels with it. So this one is here. This is going to be done for an upcycle. Now I also have a pearl version of it. And depending upon how that first upcycle goes, we might even do that. So I'm going to go ahead and label this the denim leg upcycle. Because you guys, this is going to be so perfect for that. And you know what makes it even better is because Liz from Second Stitch was like, please just take it. So it's going to be a free upcycle for me. So I'm going to label this as the denim front leg upcycle, because in my head that will make perfect sense. Popping that label on here. Got to done. Now, I also have, and I don't have the fabric here for what I plan on doing with it. Because I actually do plan on using some denims that I have upcycled or will be upcycling to make a shift dress. But I'm going to use some recycled or upcycled denim for that. So let's keep going. Now, what is this? Okay, this is the linen. I don't know if I have a plan for that just yet. And so again, I'm like looking down at my Pinterest board. Okay. So the next one that I want to take a look at is this. And so it's a pink bias cut skirt with a green shirt. So let's pull out some of these fabrics. Oh man, these are so fantastic. Y'all, I love fabric so much. Like, it's so amazing. Look at this. This is a recycled fabric. I love that for us. So good. Ooh, that's pretty too. But see, like, I get distracted by looking at the pretty fabrics. What I really should do is separate these from knit from woven, if I'm being completely honest, because of course doing that is going to offer up completely different things. More linen that I didn't use yet. And I'm looking for a specific pink fabric that I know that I have in here. So let me find that fabric. Okay, so I got the fabric. So this here fabric, we're going to, and I have 2 cuts of this, 2 cuts of 2 yards. So we're going to use this to make a bias cut skirt to match that pink one that we saw there. And so we're going to use the cocoa bias skirt to make that. Oops. I was trying to get away. So we've got cocoa bias. The cocoa bias skirt is one of, hands down, the easiest skirts to make, especially when we're talking about bias. So boom, got that. I have a lot of these like little 1-yard cuts of things. And so I got those so that I could make a couple of tops that look like this. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So I got them to make some of these like little tie knot front tops. So I have those together. I don't know if I'm going to make them, a little hat stitch. You can never block too much sun or too many haters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these small cuts and kind of put those in a pile together, because I feel like those are like very highly specific, highly targeted tops that I can only use certain fabrics for, right? Or rather, I can only use certain patterns. This is a stretch knit. Wovens. Yeah, we're going to have to separate this by woven versus stretch knit, because I really need to, and here's the second cut for my cocoa bias. So got that planned out together. I don't have a plan for that just yet. I had planned on just trying to get to the bottom of the barrel here. I made this dress. It's like a tennis skirt dress type of deal. But my son fell in love with the fabric, so now I'm going to upcycle it into like a t-shirt and some stuff for him. And this is the rest of the fabric to do that with. But we're not planning for that. I mean, it's definitely within the plan. Okay. Let's see. And I really do feel like I need to make some things with the fabrics that I actually designed. So we'll do that. That'll be an on taking as well. Okay. I think I moved the fabric that I'm looking for, but that's fine. Okay. Next up, I designed this fabric. If you're like, oh, I love that fabric, Aaronica, you can find it on Spoonflower. Absolutely. With this fabric, we're going to make a pair of pants. Because that's actually specifically what I had designed this for, because I wanted to do some pants out of it. And we're going to do the Protea pants out of this, I believe. I think I have enough fabric for it. So the Protea. And if you're like, oh, do you have a Pinterest inspiration post for that? I do. Give me 1 second to pull that up for you guys and show you. I want to make some like wide leg pants with it. Oh, that's a cute skirt. Again, getting distracted per norm. So you see how like the pants are for this top? That's essentially what I'm doing with this. And I love that for us. I do. So I've got that pulled out. Let's keep going. What kind of fabric is this? Oh no, I got that from my husband. Gonna look down. I really love this fabric here that is on these pants, and I really wish that I had something that was like that. But now I'm wondering, because I made the Daughter of Judy coat trousers. I made them on like a bright green, and now I'm wondering if I can just simply paint on them. I feel like that could be a thing too. I feel like that could be a thing. Okay. Planning fabrics is, again, the hardest thing in my humble opinion. I loved this fabric. I bought this from Mood Fabrics. I love this. I think I'm going to also do another pair of pants out of this, like, but I want to do, kind of like a barrel style jean out of this. I'm not exactly sure which one though. I also am going to do, I've got this cut, which is yellow. So this is going to be another bias cut skirt. So it's going to be another cocoa bias cut skirt. I know it's like, Aaronica, what is your obsession with bias cut skirts? I feel like as my body is currently changing, right? These bias cut skirts, they are really, like, they are not as affected as some of my other garments have been. So we've got another cocoa bias cut skirt, and that is kind of like to take a similar feel as this picture here. I feel like as I'm going through my fabrics and I'm not able to kind of like find things that are in line with what's on my Pinterest board, it's like, oh, you need to go shopping. And so I'm really trying to prevent that feeling from happening with me right now, because I don't need to go shopping for more fabric at this juncture. Now, if fabric gets sent to me because they would like for it to be shown off, who am I to say no? But I don't feel like I need to go out and shop for more fabric. Let us see. But although I will say, again, I'm scrolling and I'm just like, I need more fabric. So even though I have a really large cut of this fabric, I want to make these shorts. And they're a denim short. But I feel like making these shorts will be fine. And so I'm going to use my my Nomi pattern. And then I'm going to use Nomi pattern ME 2005. Nope. 2015. Nope. 20. Whatever was after 2015. So we're going to do spring Nomi pattern. In the shorts. And the reason why I want to use that pattern is because with that specific pattern, of course it's drafted for woven patterns, but because this here fabric has a little, it doesn't have a lot of drape, it has a lot of structure, it's going to give me that similar feel of a culotte. So that is why I want to go with that. Okay. Now, also, I know that y'all are probably like, girl, you not tired of this Cocoa Bias skirt just yet? I don't know. I might be, I might not be. It's going to probably be a not for me. Why? Because I also have this hot pink satin that I bought because I was actually teaching how to make satin pillowcases, but I had a large cut that was left over. And we're going to just knock out all of the Cocoa Bias skirts, I feel like, at one time, because that'll be easier. With a bias cut skirt, you can't really cut on the fold. So once you have it pulled up, you're really just cutting two of the same pieces and that's it. So I feel like if I'm going to have that pattern pulled up, let's just cut out all of the things. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 fabrics planned out. Let's continue on our journey. Okay, so now I have a green fabric that I want to make these pants out of. They just aren't sitting next to me. So I'm going to I'm just going to put aside this Post-it note for it, a wide leg trouser for that. And that's going to be like a simple pull on situation. Again, it's going to be really forgiving as my body continues to change, which is something that I obviously need. So that is fabric number 8. Let's continue. We got 2 more fabrics that need to be planned out. And I'm trying to think about even some of the other things that have popped up. Let's take a look. These are all knits. Love that for us. Ooh, this is pretty. Okay, what's that? Pretty see-through. Not going to work with it right now because I don't feel like having to line it. So put it to the other side. And I do feel like I should sew another my fabric design, right? So this is another fabric that I designed. And I feel like I should be sewing more of my patterns. So, you know what? I think I might want to hack. Maybe not. I feel like what I want to make is probably going to be with this, but we'll see. I'm going to come back to that. We're going to take this fabric. This is a new fabric from Fabrics. From Fabrics. And we're going to do, let's see. We're going to do another wide leg trouser with this. I do feel like because of the pleats, I do want it to be a flat front. And I'm like cycling through my head what patterns I have and what patterns I have already made and love. And I feel like we're going to go for another protea with this pattern as well. So we're going to do the protea pants again without of course, the pleat in the front. And then our final fabric choice is going to be this one here. And I don't even know if I have any knit dresses, like saved, honestly. Who am I? Let's see if there's, I already know what I want to use, I think. I almost think I want to make a strapless dress out of this. And the reason why I want to do a strapless dress out of this is because I feel like the colors will make it perfect for layering. I did a hack for the P4P ruched dress. that made it strapless. And so I think I'm going to take that hack and do it here. So the P4P ruched dress hack strapless. This morning I was like browsing on Facebook, and my girlfriend Ebony, shout out to her. She probably does not watch my channel, but that's fine. But she was wearing this like cute little strapless denim dress, but she had a shirt that was layered underneath it, and I loved that feel. Okay, now I do actually have this pile of fabrics, but I already know what I want to make. Again, I showed you guys those little knot tops. So I'm going to just kind of set these aside as well, just so that when I feel like making something small and quick, because they are really fast projects, I already have the fabric pulled out for them. And so now it's time to put these things away. You guys, I feel like my basket is running out of space, and that is not a good feeling to have. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put these things away, and I'm going to do it off camera because y'all don't need to see me attempting to reorganize this, aka make it fit in there. So now that I've got my fabrics picked out, next week we're going to start to tackle some of the projects that I've shared with you. So that way, again, that Pinterest inspiration can become my closet manifestation. If you are going ahead and joining me on this, definitely go ahead and use the hashtag Pinterest inspiration closet manifestation, and tag me in things. I want to see if this is something that you're interested in doing as well. And if you have questions, if you're like, hey girl, how do you plan out your closet? How do you find your style? Things like that. I want to invite you to go ahead and ask me questions in the comments. I will also say that on August 27th, I will be teaching a class in the Top Stitch Makers community where we talk about personal style, how to develop it, and then how to style your wardrobe to match your actual personal style. And I've dropped information on how you can join that community and join us for that as well. And with that, make sure that you have gone ahead and subscribed to my channel. You liked this video. You dropped a comment showing some love, shared it with someone who could also use a little bit of Pinterest inspiration to closet manifestation. And I will see you guys on the